On page 2-5 of our notes, we're going to look at the distributive property. The distributive property is when you have, in our case, a number on the outside of parentheses, and then inside of the parentheses, you're going to have two terms that are either being added or subtracted. So remember that when there is something outside the parentheses without a sign in between, that means multiplying. So what this means is you need to distribute the A to both things by multiplying. So you're going to do A times B plus A times C. You have to multiply through to both things. Same as if it's subtraction, you'll just have A times B minus A times C. So for number 1, I'm going to show you what you could write out if you wanted to. When you distribute, you do 4 times x plus 4 times 9. If you write out the whole distributive property, that's what you would write. But that's not what your answer needs to look like. It needs to look like this. 4 times x, you need to write as just 4x. We always just put the number and the variable right by each other. Plus 4 times 9 is 36. So this is what your final answers will look like today. You cannot have any multiplication signs in there. So hopefully we can get to the point where you can just skip right down to that and you don't need to put the 2 separate steps. If we look at number 2, 7 times k is 7k. 7 times negative 3, it's going to help to think of that, is negative 21. So that's why we put minus 21. Number 3 and 4 shows what happens when you are multiplying by a negative. So this one's a little bit tricky, and here's how I want you to see it. This part is still just negative 3n. Here's where it gets tricky. You need to see this as negative 3 times negative 8. Okay, if it helps you to put a plus sign and then a negative sign, you can do that. But I would really like you to hopefully get to the point where you can just say, okay, that's negative 8. So when I have negative 3 times negative 8, that's a positive 24. So I'm going to put plus 24. You don't automatically bring the subtraction sign down. So multiply first. If it's a positive, put a plus sign. If it's negative, put a minus sign. For number 4, negative 2 times 5x. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, and then the x just comes along. Here again, this is negative 2 and negative 2, which is positive 4. So I need to put plus 4. Number 1, 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 5 is positive 35, so plus 35. Number 2, 5 times w is 5w. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, so minus 20. Now, if your number on the outside, like 1 and 2, are positive, then yes, you can just bring down the plus or the minus sign. But anytime you have a negative on the outside, like we do for number 3, that's where you really have to be careful of the positives and negatives. So negative 5 times n is negative 5m. Negative 5 and negative 5 makes positive, so plus 25. What you'll start noticing is that if you have a negative on the outside, it always changes the sign that's in the middle. At any time, go ahead and pause and try them, and then come back and check them. Number 4, 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times negative 1a is just minus 9a. So again, there's a 1 in front of here. You can think of it as 9 times 1. Number 5, 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 3 is 6. So 2y plus 6. Number 6, negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive 7 is negative 14. So you're going to write minus 14. Do not write plus negative. You need to leave that as a minus sign. If you have a plus negative, it will be counted wrong. Okay, so if you write this, that will be counted wrong. So you're going to have to change it to just a minus sign. Number 7, negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Negative 7 times negative 5m is positive, so plus 35m. Number 8, 3 times 2n is 6n. 3 times 8 is 24, so 6n plus 24. Number 9, negative 12 times c is negative 12c. Negative 12 times 4 is negative 48, so minus 48. Number 10, negative 2 times 4k is negative 8k. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, so negative 8k minus 10. Notice again we had a negative on the outside, so that plus sign changed to a minus sign. Number 11, this is like distributing negative 1. So negative 1 times k. I don't want you to put the 1 in there though, just put negative k. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2, so negative k plus 2. Number 12, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times negative 7p would be minus 28p. 13, 9 times 2r is 18r. 9 times negative 7 is negative 63, so 18r minus 63. 14 is just like number 11 up above it. If you don't need to put the 1 there, just realize you're going to make it negative and then a negative. You're distributing the negative sign through. If it's more helpful to put the 1, negative 1 times 5k is negative 5k. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Number 15, we have fractions. You're just going to leave them as fractions. So 4/9 times 3/8 gives us 1/6 W. And then 4/9 times 10. You're going to write that as an improper fraction. So plus 40 over 9. Do not write it as a mixed number. Leave it as an improper fraction.